All right, welcome to the show, y'all. I got a huge one for you today. So Trump is absolutely spiraling. MAGA is falling apart over the Epstein files. I'm going to break that down for you. We also have, my show was complete. Like, I had finished all my preparation to come out here and give you guys the news. And then, boom, Israel starts another war. So, just insane. At the same time MAGA is falling apart, the entire world is falling apart. So we'll get into that as well. Then later on, MAGA media is desperately trying to cover up Trump's Epstein betrayal. We have some of the craziest stories I've ever heard, like the Trump regime ordering the destruction of food that was allocated to go out to 1.5 million starving kids. They just hand-waved it away and said, no, you can destroy it. It's fine. We also have Obama issuing a dire warning for Democrats. We'll dive into that. And a new immigration rule from Trump is basically going to doom millions to be locked up in perpetuity, probably for years. So more horrific stuff to talk about. We have all that and more. You guys know the drill. Everybody please subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time and costs you absolutely nothing at all. And of course, much love to all you who support this show on Patreon. We couldn't do it without you. This is real independent media, not fake independent media. I've never talked to an advertiser a single time my entire time doing this show. I'm very proud of that fact. You guys made it possible. You could also support Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. That link is below as well. And go subscribe to the Corns World YouTube channel where we're dropping Kyle and Corns over there. By the way, we just started live streaming them. So if you want to see some Kyle and Corn live streams and send in some super chats and have some fun, go ahead and subscribe over there. All right, guys, let's get into it. So my preparation for the show was done, and then I open up social media and I go, Jesus fucking Christ, bro. What is happening now? And it turns out Israel launched another massive war against Syria. So let me show you here. This person says, breaking, this is not Gaza. This is not Beirut. This is Damascus. Israel is raining bombs on Syria's capital, targeting civilian neighborhoods and government sites in one of the oldest cities on Earth, a city that has stood for over 11,000 years. So not only did they attacked the presidential palace. They did a bombing campaign against the presidential palace. Watch this.
قصف جديد قصف جديد يا شباب قصف جديد مبنى هيئة الأركان خالص قصف جديد يا شباب قصف خذونا بسرعة 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 قصف ثاني دمروه نعم قصف هيئة الأركان بغارتين نعم قصف بغارتين استهدفت هيئة الأركان بشكل مزدوج من اليمين ومن اليسار شاهدنا قطع من المبنى تتطاير حقيقة على ما يبدو أن المبنى قد تعرض لأضرار كبيرة جدا.
So that's one angle you can see. There's another one here where this is a news outlet and the background is the presidential palace, and watch what happened live. So Israel is at it again, y'all. Now, by the way, here's a nice little cherry on top of the story. If you were wondering, why now? Well, Netanyahu is currently on trial. He's on trial. Shit. He's got like multiple court cases. He got like 3 or 4 different ones. He's a massively corrupt goon. And so he was on trial. And then, would you look at that? They launched a massive attack on Syria. So now trial is adjourned. Sorry, we can't complete, the festivities for the day. We can't get to the bottom of this because the prime minister is needed to carry out another massive war. So just incredible. So and it sounds like tinfoil hat stuff. It sounds like conspiracy theorist stuff to say, like, one of the reasons they did it is because Netanyahu is desperately trying to get out of court. But like, 2 + 2 = 4, dog. And he was in court when this was happening, and then they adjourned it so he can go handle this. Now, by the way, we also have this. Israel Katz, the defense minister, said, the warnings in Damascus have ended. Now painful blows will come. The IDF will continue to operate forcefully in Suwaida to destroy the forces that attacked the Druze until their complete withdrawal. Our Druze brothers in Israel, you can rely on the Israel Defense Forces to protect your brothers in Syria. Prime Minister Netanyahu and I, as Minister of Defense, have made a commitment, and we will uphold it. So let me give you some backstory as to what's going on here. When Bashar al-Assad was overthrown, basically the person who replaced him was a former leader of an al-Qaeda branch in Syria. He was the former leader of al-Nusra. So this is an al-Qaeda jihadist who basically became the de facto president or dictator for Syria. And as a direct result of that, you know, the idea that, oh, he's enlightened now and he's evolved now and he's not an extremist anymore, that was bullshit. And so the Syrian government has carried out atrocities against Druze and other minority communities in Syria since they took power, right? But at the same time, the Syrian government was carrying out those atrocities, they were also basically sending signals to Israel saying, hey man, we'll give you parts of the country. You can have massive swaths of the country, but let's be allies. Let's be friends. Let's not go to war with each other. Let's sort of take it easy here. We won't rock the boat if you won't rock the boat type stuff. But what Israel is doing is they're looking at it, and now they're using the issue of the attacks against the Druze to gin up now support for a war in Syria, because effectively what Israel wants to do is topple the government in Syria and create a greater Israel. That's their goal, which is why you see them bombing in Lebanon. It's why you see them, attacking Iran, for example, although on the map, when it comes to Greater Israel, Iran's not actually part of that, but there's a bunch of different countries in the region, Lebanon included, taking the rest of Gaza, taking the West Bank, probably at areas in Jordan, but also in Syria. If you look at a map, you can see all the different countries where a Greater Israel would be, like how much room that actually takes up. A lot of it is Syria, and they've already taken up large swaths of Syria. And so the al-Qaeda government there basically let them do that, and we're signaling like, hey, we'll be cool if you'll be cool. But now Israel is using the issue of the attacks on the Druze to try to pretend like, we're going in there to protect the minority communities. It's got nothing to fucking do with that whatsoever. Nothing at all. I think this comment actually puts it well. The first comment underneath the first video I showed you here. Israel installs a terrorist to lead Syria. That's correct. The terrorist attacks the Druze. Israel attacks Damascus. It is only Israel's plan that is following its path. The goal of all this is nothing other than to destroy Syria. Israel's goal is to colonize Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, and part of Egypt. Is that now everything becomes clear for you, or are you still not convinced? I mean, that's exactly right. That's exactly right, which is why we've seen the insane warmongering from Netanyahu. It's gotten nothing but worse and worse and worse on a daily basis. Now, let me also show you Haaretz has some new information that they released where they lay out that the scale of the destruction in Gaza is far greater than previously believed. So 70% of all buildings in Gaza are now severely damaged or uninhabitable. 63% of buildings in Khan Yunis have been destroyed. 89% of buildings in Rafah and 84% in northern Gaza have been destroyed. 78% of Gaza City's buildings have been fully or partially demolished. Demolition is being carried out by Israeli contractors under military supervision. Since April, the Israeli army has destroyed around 2,000 buildings per month in Rafah. These contractors are paid around 5,000 shekels per building destroyed. Contractors are reportedly pressuring to expand the destruction zones. So the scale of the destruction in Gaza is even worse than we thought. So at the same time, they're finishing the genocide, completing the ethnic cleansing in Gaza. They're doing mission creep and regular lynchings in the West Bank and trying to take over the West Bank. They're still bombing Lebanon on a regular basis. They're still bombing Iran and planning to go further and do more bombings in Iran. That's a story we reported on the other day. That's not over, not by a long shot. And now, why not launch another front in Syria? Might as well launch another giant war in Syria to try to create a greater Israel, take over Syria, make it a failed state. I mean, what we're witnessing here is just a truly, truly evil moment in history where nothing is stable, everything's in flux, and the worst people are getting away with the worst possible crimes. So that was the breaking news that just came out where I was scrolling the feed and I said, holy fucking shit, now Israel's attacking Syria. It's like there's no end to it. There's no end to it. They are completely and utterly unhinged, bloodthirsty, unhinged, and they're not going to stop unless they're made to stop. And the fact of the matter is the United States should immediately cut off all weapons to Israel, all money, all weapons, and basically say, hey, you're on your fucking own, because this country is a rabid dog. Let's be serious. They are a rabid dog, and they're causing nothing but death and destruction for everybody. Now, here's the story that was huge yesterday. In multiple ways now, the Republicans have blocked the release of the Epstein files. So here is Ro Khanna proposed a rule to basically, support the release of the Epstein files, and they had a vote on it in the Rules Committee. And here's how that went. You're about to see Almost all of the Republicans voted to not release the Epstein files, and the Democrats, it was the opposite. They voted to release the Epstein files. Watch.
Hearing none, the question's on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment's not
Madam
agreed
Chair, I'm
to.
kind of shocked by that. I will ask for a roll call.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach? No. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Norman? Yes. Mr. Norman, aye. Mr. Roy? Mrs. Houchin? Mrs. Houchin, no. Mr. Langworthy? Mr. Langworthy, no. Mr. Scott? Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith? Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack?
No.
Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern?
Aye.
Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scanlon? Yes. Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Neguse? Yes. Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Leisure-Fernandez? Aye. Ms. Leisure-Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair?
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
5 yeas, 7 nays.
The noes have it. The amendment is not agreed to. And I think most of us believe what's appropriate will be released when it is time for the president to release it.
So the vote was 5-7, and it was slapped down. The Republicans voted down an attempt to release the Epstein files. Now, then it gets to the floor, and on the floor of Congress, this is a vote on whether or not they're allowing it up for a debate, right? It's a question on whether or not they're going to allow it up for a debate. And yet again, here we go. Republicans just unanimously voted to block the release of the Epstein files. So 211 Republicans voted against allowing the debate on the Epstein files. So again, multiple different ways that it's not just Trump, it's also the Republican politicians who are all in on burying the truth about Jeffrey Epstein. Now, by the way, this is something I've been talking about a lot lately, but there's a Netflix documentary on Jeffrey Epstein. I highly recommend everybody go watch that, because there's this weird thing where some small percentage of the population seems to think like, oh, there actually is nothing to see there. He was just like one creep pervert who committed sex crimes, but that's as far as it goes. No, that is not as far as it goes. If you watch the mainstream documentary, the Netflix documentary on this, they make crystal clear. They show you not only was he a creep pervert Fredo, but also they heavily imply he probably had connections to foreign intelligence, because he got a sweetheart deal from the federal government that nobody in his position would have gotten. So that it, like Occam's razor, is that there is more to this story, that there's a massive cover-up, that he ran a blackmail operation for foreign intelligence. That is literally the Occam's razor position, the most likely position. And so to have the Republicans running cover, again, it really doesn't take too much of a genius to figure out what's going on here. Epstein's Mossad. And the Republicans are trying to protect Israel. Because if it were to come to light that Israel were officially running a blackmail operations on our top politicians and top business people and top celebrities in this country, and they use that to try to get our government to do their bidding, well, that would lead to what? An immediate call to sever all ties with Israel, which is something that these assholes who are bought by the Israel lobby and AIPAC, they would never agree to it, right? They would never want to do that. So what do? Bury it. That's what's going on here. So as you know, the FBI and the DOJ released this video that they said, oh, this is Epstein's prison cell. Now, it was already sketchy because this prison cell was not the same place that we were told previously. This is his prison cell. It was two different pictures, two different prison cells. We were told originally, this is his prison cell. Then they had a totally new shit, and we're like, this is his prison cell. Okay, that already makes no sense. But they released all the videos, and originally people thought, oh, there's 1 minute missing from it. Wrong. It was actually 2 minutes and 53 seconds. So look at this. New via Wired. Newly uncovered metadata reveals nearly 3 minutes were cut from the so-called full raw Epstein prison video released by the DOJ and the FBI. Officials claim the footage was unedited, but it was stitched together in Premiere Pro. When Wired asked for answers, the DOJ said, refer you to the FBI, and the FBI declined to comment. So it went from, hey, we think there's about a minute missing from this video of what's supposed to be Epstein's cell, to actually it's 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Why are you guys editing it? What the fuck do you have to hide? And I think we know. Who was president? Who was president when Epstein was offed? I think you know the answer to that. Whose fingerprints are all over the Epstein files? I think you know the answer to that. So just to give you some more here, let's give a shout out to Joshua Reed Eagle. He says the following, play-by-play from last week. So Ghislaine Maxwell came out and offered to provide information on the Epstein client list. The Republicans slapped her down. They said, we're not interested. The DOJ's ethics director was abruptly fired by Bondi. Maybe because he was against the cover-up? Bondi also rejected Maxwell's appeal to have the Supreme Court review her conviction. Republicans in Congress reportedly blocked Maxwell's offer to testify. That's crazy. So Ghislaine was like, I'll go testify in front of Congress. And they're like, we're not interested. There's no plausible way to interpret all this except as a coordinated effort. The GOP appears completely compromised and laser focused on burying the truth about Epstein. That's exactly right. Now, by the way, I know Trump desperately wants this to go away, and we'll do a segment on that in a little bit, but let me show you this because this says it all. So YouGov did a poll. Should the government release all documents related to the Epstein case? The yes position is 79%. No is just 5%, y'all. 5%. So Trump is, trying to throw haymakers at everybody around him who doesn't agree with him, not realizing only 5% of the country agrees with you, that they want to bury the truth about the Epstein files. Holy shit is all I have to say. Holy fucking shit. So now the cover-up has gotten more extreme. The cover-up has gone deeper and deeper because we're at the point where the Republicans on the Rules Committee blocked the release of the Epstein files. The Republicans in the House blocked even a debate about releasing the Epstein files. You have Republicans at every level smacking down Ghislaine Maxwell from testifying in front of Congress. You have the DOJ getting involved and telling the Supreme Court, don't hear Ghislaine Maxwell's case. This thing stinks to the high heavens, dog. And I think you all know why. Because there is a tremendous amount of dirt on the most powerful man in the world in those files, and he will do anything to prevent that from coming out. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.